So the question is, what is my favorite moment from an Avery Dennison certification test? And that is that is super hard. I've been doing it for years, and there's been so many special moments. I mean, I definitely top three is when someone doesn't pass the first time and then they come back a few months later, they take it again and pass. That's always super special. But I think for me, it's actually just not one specific person, it's everyone. And there's this moment in the test that's just amazing. And basically how the test works, if you don't know much about the Avery Dennison certification test, is you take a written exam, and then you have to do an installation portion. And the installation portion is 4 modules. You have to wrap a hood with full print film, fender with color change film, and then a door with the door handle on and window perf commercial style. So 3 installation modules. Then if you pass those, then the last thing you have to do is a cutting test. So basically the criteria of the installation portion on the hood, fender, and door with the window is based on points. And when you get done with the hood, for example, I add up the points and then I turn to the person who's taking the test and I say, would you let this out of your shop? Do you think it'll last 2 years? Do you think a customer would pay for it? And they say, yeah, I think so, and I agree too. So that's mainly the criteria is, would you let it out of your shop or would you redo it? And if you have to redo it, you don't pass. So basically, if you don't pass a certain module, then you fail. But if you get through all 3 modules, the last one you have to do is the cutting test. Now the cutting test is, you have to cut 5 straight lines out of a piece and 3 S shapes, and that piece is on top of another piece. So it's measuring how hard you cut. So if you can find that right balance of cutting, that means the top piece comes off clean and the bottom piece should come off in one piece. So this is how all the tests end, every single one of them. And for me, it's just that moment, because they've gone through all the 3 modules and the criteria for the Avery test is super hard. It's a really strict test. And if you make it through those 3 modules, then you just got the cutting. And if you get through the cutting, you're home, so you can feel it. So it's got that nerves, it's got that excitement. So for me, is when I'm pulling off that one piece and you could feel them and it does it come off in one piece? And most often it does. It comes off in one piece and you just, because the cutting test is pass or fail. It's not based on points. So as soon as that piece comes off in one piece, there's just screaming and high fives and tears and all. It's just magical. So for me, it's not one specific person because pretty much everyone who's passed has gone through that special moment. So that being said, that's the answer to my question is what's my favorite moment of certification? And I hope that if you're not certified, you take the Avery Dennison certification test and you have that special moment with myself, John Duver, or Chad Parrish, because for me, that is one of the most special feelings as a rapper. Definitely. So hope to see you next year in 2021. Cheers, everyone.
Hey everybody, John Duver here with Vinyl Images and Design, an Avery Dennison certified trainer as well. The question I'm here to answer today is what is my favorite moment, my most favorite moment as an Avery Dennison certified trainer? Well, it's very difficult, going on 5 years of training. It's very difficult to pinpoint one instance that is my favorite. But I will say this: there have been some amazing times as an Avery Dennison certified trainer in the classes, etc. But I will point out one. In March of 2020, I had a class that was in Atlanta, Georgia, at Jim Miller's facility, Miller Decals. And on the certification day, there were 7 people, I think 8 people that certified, 7 or 8 people that were certifying, 3 of which passed. And one of which, his name was Chun. Chun, I taught his first class, and then we kind of spoke, and the whole ran the gamut. He ended up getting a job at Miller Decals, which was a great thing. He was there for a couple years. He ended up passing his certification, and it was a very emotional time. That was awesome. And then the same day, a very good friend of mine, Andrew from Memphis, he passed the certification as well. Again, another emotional time. And then a good buddy of mine, Marcelo, he passed his certification as well. So those 3 gentlemen passing their certification, the amount of care and love that they brought to the table during that certification day. I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, including myself. We're all very passionate about this, and that was one of the most special times I've ever had as an Avery Dennison certified trainer, and I will never forget that day. That was just absolutely incredible. I have a picture of that I look at a lot to reflect on it, and that was the most special time I've ever had as an Avery Dennison certified trainer.
So the question being, what is your favorite part of being a trainer on certification day? I think first off, the fact that I personally been through those moments, those certifications. You know, I've put forth the hard work to get to that point and still do to this day, you know, as being a subcontracted installer, on top of being a trainer. I think just the day, the morning when them students come in and you can just see the excitement, the nerves, the adrenaline of all that hard work that they put forth come to that moment. And to see that, and to see those students, you know, kind of go through that test and just be so excited, you know, just to be there, and then, you know, just to nail it and just pass it and just earn that badge and be part of that, you know, that certification and holding that. And I think that is unreal. And you know, and as installers, you know, there's always those days you have bad days, and you know, I've seen a lot of great installers go through, and you know, they have those bad days on test days, and it's unfortunate. But the funny thing is, and the other enjoyable thing is when they come back and you know, they just crush it and they nail it and get through it. And you know, in the back of your head you just think, man, they went back, they fine-tuned every little aspect of their installation process and worked on everything they knew they had to work on. Then they come back and they just, bam, they hit it and they just nail it. And that alone too is just, it's super exciting. So the whole process, you know, whether, you know, it's yourself taking it, or no matter what position you're in as a trainer or a installer, it's just super exciting to see, you know, for us, because in the end we're all a big team and we're growing together. So I think that alone, just to see, you know, people get through it and know that we're all getting better in the long run is just, it's amazing. So that is, I think, the answer, you know, to what I would answer to that question. So thanks again for listening. Chad Parrish.